blockers and hormone therapy, doctors who violate the statute could be penalized with up to a year in jail and a $2,000 fine. LGBTQ advocates warn blocking transgender treatment could raise the risk of suicides.
Fox's Tom Rigotti. America's listening to Fox News.
Would you get on an airplane if you knew it had a 50% chance of crashing? You may be riding that plane right now. If you have your money in a 401k or IRA and you plan to take out the recommended percentage each year when you retire, your chance of running out of money is 50%. 50%. But there's a better and safer way to secure your income in retirement. Discover how in a free book called Rescue Your Retirement. This wealth building strategy has never had a losing year in more than a century. In fact, even the man who invented the 401k now prefers this method instead. Get Rescue Your Retirement free for just a small shipping charge and enjoy a safe landing and a comfortable retirement. Get this free book and make sure you don't run out of money. Hurry, this offer is extremely limited. To get your free copy, just go to growwealthsafely.com. That's growwealthsafely.com to discover how to rescue your retirement. growwealthsafely.com.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that you promised you would. So whether you're tackling a small honey-do list or building the Taj Mahal, Sunbelt Rentals will help you get the job done right with the right tools. From carpet cleaners to excavators, Sunbelt Rentals has what you need. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now from Sunbelt Rentals, located on Highway 27, just a half-mile east of I-75, or visit sunbeltrentals.com. Get it done. Rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals.
You just have to say it's a happy day. The old ticker hasn't been clicking and your kicker hasn't been kicking, but the hospital you can now leave. To rehab you can now cleave. The folks at Palm Garden you got to meet. You can tell their services cannot be beat. Working with nursing and therapy all day, you're gonna get better the Palm Garden way. Find out what the Palm Garden way means to you by taking a tour. We're located on the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you are interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, check OcalaBusinessLeaders.com.
Denellen Farm Days Antique Tractor and Equipment Show is February 8th and the 9th, just 6 miles west of Denellen on County Road 40. It's fun for the entire family. Entry is just $5 each, or $15 for a carload up to 6 people. Children 12 and under are free. There'll be craft and food vendors, demonstrations, children's activities. Again, that's February 8th and 9th for the Denellen Farm Days. For more information, call 352-472-2703. A Tin Roof Shack production.
Howdy, folks. RL here to tell you about Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen Silver Springs has been serving yummy foods and ice cream made fresh to order for 46 years. Their gift cards are perfect for those you love for any occasion. Our ice cream cakes are awesome. And as far as grilled foods, DQ does it right. From grilled chicken to our famous foot-long chili dogs. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Florida Cancer Specialist Foundation provides critical living expenses for cancer patients undergoing treatment. You can support the foundation by attending Farm to Table 2020 on February 8th at Castlegate Farm in Ocala. For more information and to make reservations, visit fcsf.org/events. That's fcsf.org/events.
Good morning. It's just gone 7 o'clock in the morning.
Welcome to AM Ocala Live on WOCA. And now, here's your morning host, Adam Micklin.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, everybody. You're listening to AM Ocala Live on WOCA Ocala, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source, broadcasting to you live from the Paddock Mall. Good morning. It's Thursday. Yesterday I was talking about it being Wednesday, hump day, halfway through the work week. All downhill from here, baby. All downhill from here. I'm looking forward to the weekend, and it's not far away now. That's the cool thing. All right. So with this Thursday, we welcome anybody who's listening. We got some fogginess a little bit this morning, a little misty action nonetheless, but temperatures are fairly mild. We're looking at 53 degrees right now as the sun's going to be starting to come up. I know what happens is usually by about 7:30 we have that sun shining, but we've got a little bit of mist, a little bit of fog out there, or lower type clouds. And if that's the case, be careful driving as you're heading to work with the fog lights. Don't use those high beams, not when it's misting, not when it's foggy. Good morning, everybody. One of the things I wanted to get to kind of right away is I had watched, this was last night I had started it, but this morning I had finished it. It was a video that I had found on Facebook, and it had something to do with the Antiques Roadshow. Every now and then I'm a fan of the public broadcasting of the Antiques Roadshow, because there's certain things that you think as you watch the show. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm sure most people know what Antiques Roadshow is, but for those who don't, people who have certain antiques or goods get them appraised, and they usually find out they're either more valued than in price than what they actually thought, or less valued than what they actually thought. But I had just watched a video of a man who, he had long hair, real long hair, silver hair, real long beard. He had a camouflaged bandana. He looked like someone from the Duck Dynasty, if you will. But this man had committed to the Air Force when he was drafted for Vietnam. Lucky number 7 was his number when drafted. So this man's been around the block a little bit, but what he had found when he was in the service was that most of the pilots for where he was either flying to or where he was stationed and then coming home, he noticed a lot of the pilots wore Rolex watches. So with that in mind, he's like, boy, I'd like to get me one of those someday. And in the video with the Antiques Roadshow, with the appraiser, he had all of the, he had a Rolex watch that he eventually bought. He found this Rolex watch that he eventually bought that he wanted because he liked it. It was 1971, and the watch was in 1971. He bought it maybe 73, I think he said. Nonetheless, he had all of the paperwork that goes to it. He had the original box, green Rolex box that comes, that the watch comes in, and he had the paper box that you would get that has the green felt hardwood box that carries the watch. He had the original documentation for the guarantee that wasn't filled out. He had the record of the number or serial number of that to make it official, along with the sticker on the back of the watch that showed what number it was of that model. And it was a Rolex Oyster Cosmograph. And the reason I'm telling everybody about this and why I'm excited to talk about it was this is one of those appraisals that it's just a Rolex watch. It never really said how much he had paid for it, but you can assume it was expensive, maybe even back in the 70s, still somewhere near the $5,000 to $10,000 range, or maybe a little bit less. I was going to look that up here in a moment. But nonetheless, after it was appraised, he started pointing out with his documentation that a watch like this could go for somewhere around $100,000. It's very highly collectible. Then he proceeded to tell him that this was one of the same, not this exact watch, but one of the same models that Paul Newman, old-time actor Paul Newman, had worn for the majority of his early days in Hollywood, as he can be seen with that watch in certain movies and on set. And with that being that kind of model, being rare. He says with the documentation, now we're looking at somewhere in the vicinity of $400,000 in value. And at that point, the man fell to his knees and rolled onto his back as he was so surprised. And they told him, stand up, hang on a second. There's more I got to tell you. So this gentleman served in the Armed Forces and the Air Force, was drafted in Vietnam, who through Vietnam was able to have an experience that allowed him to see certain things that, like the watch on a pilot's wrist, that he was interested in. Amongst everything else, had purchased a watch back in the 70s that he didn't use. He wanted to do some scuba diving. He didn't do any scuba diving with it because he just thought it was unique, a little valuable, so he kept it in a safe deposit box. And in the condition that he had kept it, with all of the paperwork, this watch at auction can go from anywhere from $600,000 to $700,000. Highly collectible, very, very rare. All of the documentation, down to the paper box, that the green box that's made of wood and velvet that carries the watch comes in. That man's looking at something that he thought was just a watch that was a little bit expensive and rare, is now, for him, worth over $500,000 and then some. I just thought that was incredible, so I thought I'd share that. I just thought I'd share that on this Thursday. As we're downhill towards the end of the work week, just something to kind of think about, like how at the end of the day, like certain things that we would think carry some value and then that would get appraised for something even more. Like the guy was sitting on a jackpot and thought it's worth to go through the lengths of getting it appraised and going on Antiques Roadshow to do it. The man was pretty cool, though, too. Just looking at him, he was about 6'3". He looked like maybe he was, like I said, with serving in Vietnam. He was definitely in his mid-60s, mid to late 60s. But it just looked like a man's man that is now carrying a watch that's worth over $500,000. Just incredible. Incredible. I just thought that was pretty neat to share with everybody. Anyway, that's one of the things I'd like to talk about today. If anybody wanted to call in and comment, 622-9622. That's how we're going to get the show started today, and everything like it. Actually, we have a caller right now. Yeah, good morning. You're on the air. WOCA Ocala. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Adam.
Morning, partner. How you doing today?
Pretty good, thank you. I believe the Antique Roadshow came to Ocala. That must have been around 15 years back, but I believe they did come to Ocala.
Yeah.
And if I remember, my wife was very, we watched the program quite a bit, and my wife was very interested in going to the program, but there was a death in our family, and we had to go back up to Wisconsin for a week and missed out on it. But that was a very interesting situation. It's a great program. It's a must-watch TV program, and hopefully someday they might reconsider coming into somewhere here in north central Florida.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat, especially too when you think about some of the areas geographically that they go within the United States. You're more likely, now people come from, like for example, if they're going to hold it in Atlanta, then people from the surrounding areas, even Florida, would drive to it. But what I'm getting at is geographically, like where they're at in the United States, sometimes can turn into, like if they're out in Kansas, sometimes the Antique Roadshow pulls up certain things that are old enough and antique that are getting appraised that were there before the Oregon Trail and certain things like that. That's one of the things I like about it that makes it interesting nonetheless. This little story, this little ditty that I was talking about, I don't know exactly where they were at, but I wish I need to look that up. But just something like that watch, I think is pretty neat. Now, as a pilot too, I'm kind of a watch geek, and I haven't made it in the industry yet to be able to afford anything like a Rolex so far or anything like it. But nonetheless, it's an interesting thing altogether.
My brother-in-law down in Orlando, Florida, a few years back, he was kind of a rummager kind of person. He'll stop at all these garage sales and stuff, and he was at one end. He found a Rolex watch, And the person said that their uncle had bought it and worn it years ago, and he passed away years back, and it's been sitting around in the house. And I guess he wanted a couple $100 for it, and he was very interested and bought it and got it home, and he put it in the drawer too. And then when we had a chance one time, he went and had it appraised, and it was appraised for around $5,000.
Oh, wow. Hey, real quick, partner, are you on speakerphone?
Yes.
Yeah. Do me a favor real quick. We've noticed that with the system here, the speakerphone has a little bit of a hallway effect. Do me a favor real quick. Punch that and see if you go off speakerphone there, if it gets a little bit better.
How's that?
Oh, that's much better. There we are.
Okay, very good. Okay, in the future, I'll remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, my brother-in-law was, he had well, not rich, but, he's $5,000 richer after only spending $200 for it. But it's a kind of an interesting thing. But like I said before, the Antique Roadshow is really, it's a must-watch program.
Yeah.
Can I ask you kind of a personal question about aviation?
I think so. I think it's past the moment of the time of day to go ahead and ask a personal question. Go right ahead, partner.
You got a girlfriend. Now, the reason I ask is my dad was a pilot in World War II in the Pacific Theater. He flew his P-38 Lightnings. When we got home, him and a friend of his went and bought a small aircraft and would fly on the weekends and whatnot. And they bought a plane called an Air Coupe.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little two-seater.
Yep, with an H10.
Did you ever hear about that kind of a plane?
Yeah, actually, the Air Coupe is kind of neat. Neat story was when I was in Pensacola, there was a gentleman who owned one. I think he still does. It was yellow.
Yeah.
And this guy would fly that Air Coupe, which we're talking only about 140 horsepower. This guy would fly that thing all the way to Colorado 6 months out of the year. Yeah. Incredible.
But this whole conversation here is, my mother was very much against him flying in that airplane, and she would never go in the airplane. And every time, as a child, I can remember every time he would go, she would just get into nervousness and stuff. And I know you got a girlfriend. Is she interested in aviation, and how is your feeling towards you for flying?
That's not a bad question at all, because a lot of times you run into certain situations where let's say this, if you were already dating somebody that you're serious with and then you become a pilot, now it's a little bit different because they're seeing like something that you weren't into just yet. You were into something different, and now you're carrying on with this, so they might not catch up. And to be 100% honest with you, that's kind of what I think happened with my ex-wife. Her and I were dating for a long time, then I got in aviation, and it kind of didn't work out. Not that she was nervous to fly or anything. I think it was more of the logistical idea that a pilot has always gone. But my girl now, no, she likes to fly, especially here in Florida. Especially here in Florida too, because she knows that with how would you say it, like how defensive you have to be driving down I-75 to get to Tampa, when you really can just really easy, and most of the time the weather's pretty good, just do about a 40-minute flight in a Cessna 172 to get to Tampa to enjoy the weekend, or knowing that if we wanted to go to the Keys, which we have gone before, we've flown to the Keys, it's only about a 2.5-hour flight. And we've enjoyed lunch down there at the southernmost point and then flown back. So I need to get her up more often. We just don't have the time or the finances right now, so to speak. But no, she enjoys it. And that's something that as a pilot you kind of circumnavigate to make sure that if anything, somebody's at least behind you on what your hobby is, so that way you can get or enjoy the fullest without having anybody holding you back, so to speak. But that's interesting. Was it the airplane?
How far can you fly in a full tank of gas?
Well, depends on headwind, tailwind kind of stuff and everything. But in, for example, the 2004 model aircraft, it's a 172S model. They hold quite a bit of fuel. You've got about 5 hours of fuel in there, and 5 hours with a pretty calm wind can get you pretty far. It can definitely get you, I'd say at least maybe 300 to 350 nautical miles away, which if you figure going west, 250 is Pensacola, 250 nautical miles south is about Marathon in the Keys or Key West-ish, and then if you go north about 250 nautical miles, you're in Charleston, South Carolina, and so they can go just a little bit beyond that radius there. So yeah, you can go quite a bit. Now it's all about P factor, which is how long can you hold it before you need to go ahead and land the airplane so you can use the bathroom. But yeah, but great questions, buddy.
Real quickly, getting back to my dad's story, real quick. One day he was flying alone, and I guess he didn't look at his gas gauge, so he had a forced land into a cornfield up in Wisconsin. And although he damaged the plane quite a bit, but he didn't get injured. But that was his last flying experience. My mom said, "Either you quit flying or I'm history," and that was it. So the plane was goodbye.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, and I wonder if it was more the airplane rather than it was the flying. Because the airplane is kind of small. Like you said, it's an air coupe, and it looks just a little bit more, how do you say, a little bit more ebb and flow with the wind. It's definitely a smaller aircraft, but great. As a matter of fact, the air coupes are, so like for most people, when it comes to steering the airplane on the asphalt, when you're actually taxiing, you got to use the rudder pedals to steer the airplane left and right. You want to go left, you push left. You want to go right, you push right with the rudders. The yoke doesn't do anything until you're airborne. However, on this aircraft specifically, they're linked. So you can actually steer the airplane like a car. With the yoke, you can turn left or right, and the way it's linked via the tail and everything else with the rudders to the nose wheel, you can actually turn the airplane with the yoke like a regular car, which made it a lot easier for certain people to fly and stuff like it. But that's one of the few airplanes that does that. It's just kind of interesting. It's a cool airplane.
Do they still make airplanes rather than steering wheels with sticks?
Well, of course. Like, so most of the aircraft we're talking about have a yoke, which is okay. But like a stick with stick and rudder, having the center stick. There's quite a few airplanes now that you can actually, like a lot of experimentals, and when I say experimentals, it doesn't have to be certified. You can have a mechanic build it and do what you want to it without having the approval from the FAA, so to speak. But a lot of your RVs and everything have the stick and rudder. A lot of airplanes now, like the Cirrus, the Cessna Corvallis, they actually have side sticks. So it's not a center stick, it's a stick, but it's on the side, which is kind of interesting too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, well, I'm really glad to hear that your girlfriend enjoys flying. It makes life much easier, and it's great to have a partner like that to go places with.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, buddy. Thank you very much. And now we're hearing you loud and clear, partner, with that speakerphone off. We got you. We got the callers. Now they're excited to listen to that voice of yours.
Okay, well, I got the message, and from now on, when I call, I'll remember that. And nice talking to you again today, and looking forward to a day of good programming.
You got it, partner. You have a good one. Thank you very much. Excellent. So, for those who are just tuning in, you're listening to AM Ocala Live on WOCA Ocala, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source. And I was just kicking off today, this Thursday, with a story that I'd seen on Facebook. It was a video of the Antiques Roadshow that had a gentleman who had a Rolex watch that ended up getting appraised for over $500,000. Now, mind you, the watch itself looked a little worn, a little used, but nothing. Like the appraiser himself was talking about pretty much how it's still got, basically, if it were to be worn too much, it would have abrasions or certain things being worn off of it in certain areas because it would be worn. However, this one doesn't. And one example was the sticker on the back that has the serial number of that model that was made. And I think he said they only made about 7,000 of them, and that one was 6,453. So of that being rare and now that old, was part of the value. But also, see, this is what's interesting. And see, I'm also a big fan of Pawn Stars also. And it's not necessarily what the guys are on the show. It's more or less the stuff that they bring in and how certain things can carry value just because somebody that we see as famous or important actually held or used that specific item. So for the example of the watch, the Rolex watch, the Oyster Cosmograph, it was a specific model that was owned and worn by Paul Newman. And with him being seen and it being known that that was one of the Rolex watches that he had that was hard to get. Now, when a lot of these famous people do wear something like that, you know, it makes the value increase, obviously, because people want to wear that or want to own the same thing. Well, even to this day, he's saying, the appraiser, that people want this watch so much so that, like I said, they valued it over $500,000. God, I think that's incredible. Makes you wonder, is there anything hiding around in the attic or the basement? There's no basements in Florida, I know that. But if you got a house up north and you got a basement or an attic, that you've got something sitting in there that you just got an inkling that maybe it's worth some value, that maybe it'd be worth getting appraised. And that's what the Antique Roadshow is all about. One of the interesting things is, I would say that when you watch a show like that, when people think that there's value in the item, okay, and they get it appraised, and it's like a wah-wah, where it's actually less than what they ever thought, where it's something that to them looked rare. To them it was even, this is the worst though, is when they're on like the Antiques Roadshow specifically, something that was inherited down through the generations, where their great-great-grandmother came from Italy on the boat, took this with her as an heirloom that was passed on to generation, and now somebody's looked to see the value in it because it's got to carry something because it carried weight within the family. And then they find out it's really not worth anything, or the whole time that it was, like when it comes to, what is it? Not necessarily like fine china, but I don't want to say pottery. What is it? Like vases, stuff like that they see looks counterfeit or something like that, and it's depreciated in value. Here they thought it was something bigger than that. I love that kind of stuff. That's what we're going to start the show with, basically. So that's where the conversation will begin today. Just to give you a little heads up, we're coming to the bottom of the hour, and afterwards, the heads up is what we got going on for the show. At 8:05 to 8:30, of course, we got Life South Community Blood Centers. We'll be talking to Galen. Yesterday, we were talking so much about what we can expect for Sunday's Super Bowl, and we were talking some good stuff there sports-wise about what kind of coaching is going on in the NFL with what would assume to be some young guns, but really, like Galen kind of put it, and he's kind of right there, that it's not really out of the norm that some of the younger guys that are given the opportunity to coach in the NFL have shined. But it's kind of a neat balance. But anyway, we'll be finding some stuff to talk about with Galen. At 8:35 to 9 o'clock, we'll be doing our news bits. There's a little bits that we can talk about within that half hour, some stuff that's been going on in the community. I've left out a couple things that's happened within our community that's come to, I think we've mentioned it on the Rip and Read, but I think it had come up with a gentleman with a 6-week-old baby having something with its arm and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I'm not necessarily into talking about, really. I know it's local news, but we want to keep it lighter. It's a morning show. We got a long day ahead of us. We still got the rest of the week to go, so why not keep it light? And we'll keep it light with news bits. We'll do some birthdays and some news attacks and all that good stuff. And from 9:05 to 9:30, we'll have Joe in the studio with Veterans, Vets Helping Vets, Veterans News. That'll carry us to 9:30. And then we'll be talking on the phone from 9:30 to 9:45. Bob Wines, Camellia Gardens, Nursery Garden Center, and Landscaping. We'll be talking to Lori Williams. And that's the spokesperson and manager for Bob Wines. We know Lori. We're looking forward to talking to her about what they've got going on at the Camellia Gardens Nursery. And then after that, we'll keep it some potpourri. But we're coming to the bottom of the hour now. You're listening to AM Ocala Live on WOCA Ocala, 96 FM, 1370, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump's impeachment trial in the Senate today has senators asking more written questions. Alan Dershowitz, defending him, says asking for foreign investigations of a political opponent is okay because the president thinks it's good for the country.
Every public official that I know believes that his election is in the public interest.
Democrat Adam Schiff.
If you say you can't hold a president accountable in an election year where they're trying to cheat in that election, then you are giving them carte blanche.
A vote's expected tomorrow on whether to call any witnesses. In South Dakota,
the state house has passed a bill that would ban gender change treatment for children under 16, as well as puberty blockers and hormone therapy. Doctors who violate the statute could be penalized with up to a year in jail and a $2,000 fine. LGBTQ advocates warn blocking transgender treatment could raise the risk of suicides.
Fox's Tom Rigotti. America's listening to Fox News.
Would you get on an airplane if you knew it had a 50% chance of crashing? You may be riding that plane right now. If you have your money in a 401k or IRA and you plan to take out the recommended percentage each year when you retire, your chance of running out of money is 50%. 50%. But there's a better and safer way to secure your income in retirement. Discover how in a free book called Rescue Your Retirement. This wealth building strategy has never had a losing year in more than a century. In fact, even the man who invented the 401k now prefers this method instead. Get Rescue Your Retirement free for just a small shipping charge and enjoy a safe landing and a comfortable retirement. Get this free book and make sure you don't run out of money. Hurry, this offer is extremely limited. To get your free copy, just go to growwealthsafely.com. That's growwealthsafely.com to discover how to rescue your retirement. growwealthsafely.com.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Ocala, quick minute news. Deputies in Pasco County say that they found the van connected to a statewide Amber Alert for a baby kidnapped from Miami. Nearby, they found the body of the suspected kidnapper, the baby's father, dead from an apparent suicide. Sheriff Chris Nacco says that they've heard from a possible witness.
The one individual told us that he saw a blonde woman sitting in the truck. And I sit here and pray to God that that is true and that she has the baby.
Deputies are using canine tracking dogs to try to find 1-week-old Andrew Caballero. He was taken from a Miami home where 3 women were found dead on Tuesday. Police in Tallahassee say a giant sinkhole inside a mobile home community is getting larger by the hour. The crater, opened Tuesday, has forced several residents to evacuate nearby homes, but no injuries were reported. Congresswoman Val Demings says that the case against President Trump is open and shut. The Orlando Democrat and House impeachment manager tweets, "All that remains to be answered is whether the Senate will put country before party." Beyond all the hype that comes with Sunday's Super Bowl in South Florida, there's a good chance for a good game.
Super Bowl 54 is the third one planned by Rodney Barreto, and the chairman of the host committee says Sunday's game could actually be really good football.
From a host committee perspective, it's a great matchup. I think we've got 2 well-traveled teams. They got a good fan base, and you can see it. You can feel it.
More than anything, the chairman is a fan of the game. As for the outcome, Barreto says he typically roots for the underdog, but he thinks Kansas City will pull out a win on Sunday.
A grieving Shaquille O'Neal will use his Super Bowl party to honor a man he calls his brother. Shaq announced yesterday he will go forward with this week's party despite the death of Kobe Bryant. He says he'll donate all proceeds from the party to Kobe's foundation and to the families of the others who died in last weekend's helicopter crash. For your Ocala Quick Minute News, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Friday the 31st at 9:30 a.m., our special guest will be Scotty Plant, owner of 12 Rounds Boxing Gym. Boxing is an excellent way to keep in shape while building your self-reliance. Scotty says there are only 2 kinds of people in the world, the ones that work out and stay in shape, and the ones that don't. Which one are you? Learn about the gym and get your boxing questions answered. That's this Friday at 9:30. This interview will give you a whole new perspective of keeping in shape.
Partly sunny and pleasant today, high 70 to 74. Increasing cloudiness tonight, low 56 to 59. Cloudy tomorrow with a shower in spots in the afternoon, high 75 to 78. Saturday, a shower or a thunderstorm, followed by clouds and sunshine in the afternoon, high 68 to 76. Plenty of sunshine for Sunday, high 64 to 68. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
And now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
And welcome back. You're listening to AM Ocala Live on WOCA Ocala, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. The Source. Good morning on this fine Thursday. The sun's starting to come up a little bit more, but it's hidden behind some clouds as we currently have 53 degrees out there with increased cloudiness, of course. It's a little foggy. If you want the aviation weather report, let me show you that one real quick. We're going to read a METAR, field observation within 5 nautical miles of the airport. Right now, Ocala showing IFR, 9 miles of visibility, overcast clouds at 500 feet. How about that? It says 010 at 8 knots for the winds. 010. We got some northeasterly winds, fairly northeasterly. Temperature and dew point is pretty close today. That's why we got clouds at 500 feet. It should be breaking up a little bit as we look at it for the rest of the day, coming into mostly cloudy skies. We should be getting to a high of the mid-60s today, around 65 degrees. And then tonight, low of 53 with increased cloudiness and a chance of rain through Friday and Saturday. A little bit of a bummer, but that's okay. It is winter time. We could use the rain. We could use it. We could always use it. We were, if you're just joining us, we were talking before the break at the bottom of the hour. I was talking about the Antiques Roadshow on public broadcasting. There's something come through my Facebook feed of a man who had a Rolex watch that got appraised and ended up being so rare and so unique and so wanted that it ended up being worth over $500,000, between $500,000 and $700,000. And you know, with auction, it always could go for more, or it always could go for less, which I always think is interesting with auction. Which is always interesting too when you watch something like Pawn Stars, where they get it appraised from the guy who comes in who's the expert. When they talk to the pawn shop owners, they show them something that's worth some value. They put a price on it because they want to sell it, right? And then the guy comes in to somewhat appraise it or to make sure that it's official, and they say, man, something like this could be worth around $4,000. So then they ask him, well, how much do you want for it now? Well, I want $4,000. But that's never the case because they know at auction it might go for less. It's supply and demand, so to speak. I just find that stuff pretty fascinating because it's such a game. When you do carry something valuable, you got to understand that somebody else has to want that in order for you to get it. So it makes me wonder that, with the idea of watches, and there's so many people that I know that really, really are into or collect great timepieces that no one I know would be wanting to spend $500,000, but the idea of it being rare, you can see that there would be a market for it because it's a watch. So somebody out there in the world would want to have that for the reasons of it being so rare and still having all the documentation. Very rare with little wear, so there's not much wear to it. And then at the same time, it's something that was collectible for somebody else who was famous, Paul Newman. Which I was always a fan of Paul Newman. My dad, one of his favorite movies, Cool Hand Luke. Cool Hand Luke, that's a good one. I still buy his pasta sauce, too. At Name Grocery Store, I use that. It's non-profit. It's delicious. It's organic. Not that I'm a tree hugger by any means. But why not? Not to mention, he was a real man. A real man. Anyway, you're listening to AM Ocala Live. This fine Thursday. Your host, Adam Mickulin. We got the phone lines open if you'd like to give us a call, just to shoot the breeze, talk about what's going on, talk about what we were talking about before the bottom of the hour. We had a caller mention a little bit about how the Antiques Roadshow came to Ocala, as he said, about 15 years ago. That seems like a long time ago. You'd think it would have made its round back here again at some point, but I don't know. Maybe we should shout out to them. Speaking of type antiques and stuff like it, that's a nice little segue or carry plug to our friends there at the Justice League Estate Sales for what they do to get in there and have that stuff appraised that can have the opportunity to get sold for what they do. We love those guys. The big news that they had this week with their flea market, that'll be coming to Ocala. I think February 15th they were talking about it. So that's a little plug for them as I segue that topic to them. And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do when you're in the station all by yourself. Anyway, as we were looking for what's ahead for the day, like we said, the phone lines are open. I'd really enjoy your phone calls. Give us a call, 622-9622. Anything you guys want to talk about or comment on that we go through for the day. Yesterday we had on Ocala Aviation. Friends of mine, good wheelhouse topics of everything we were talking about with the airport, and then some other stuff just to have some fun, and that's what we're about here at The Source. So if you want to give us a call, 622-9622. At the top of the hour, we'll be talking with Galen, Life South Community Blood Centers. After that, 8:35 to 9, we'll be doing our thing with News Bits. Got a little News Bits to go over. And then 9:05 to 9:30, Vets Helping Vets, Veterans News for that half hour. And then from 9:35 to 9:45, Bob Wines, Camellia Gardens. Lori Williams, spokesperson and manager for Bob Wines, Camellia Gardens. We'll be talking to her about what they have going on, as we do every week. And then we're going to leave it from that point, pretty much more potpourri, more topics. This is talk radio. With it being talk radio, we want to find what you guys want to talk about. As we work, I was talking yesterday, as we work through the weeks here, this is not even my second full week, but it feels more comfortable of everything that's going on here overall. And with that comfort of being able to operate some of the production here and everything, we're going to start to have a little bit more segments where we know we have the time to do it, to work that around the people that we know we'll have in the studio and everything like it. And for the time being, though, we'd like to hear you guys call in, see what you want to talk about, see what questions you have, whether it's aviation or even just life questions. I could throw some stuff out there, even to get some personal questions. We'll make it interesting. But it's Thursday. We're downhill towards the end of the week, which is, I've been saying it for last week. It's the last full week in January, if you can believe it, as we head into February. There's a lot going on in February. We're going to take a little bit break here in just a minute. And when we come back, we'll be talking about some of the events that will be going on in the Ocala area come February here as we work ourselves to it. And there's a few events that are coming, that are starting even today into the rest of the week, into the weekend that begins February, as well as the Super Bowl. If anybody wants to talk some sports, I am ready. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. I am looking forward to the commercials for the Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to the game that will be played that is the Super Bowl between the two teams of the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm also really looking forward to seeing that Patrick Mahomes, see how he's going to do. And by the way, I got a small comment on him. Nothing against it. He's a great quarterback and athlete. But that's not the voice. The sound of his voice, Patrick Mahomes, that's not the voice I saw coming out of an athlete like that, by the way. A little different on what to expect with hearing him talk about the press conferences with the Super Bowl. I've gotten to hear his voice more, and I had no idea it was a little squeaky like that. He sounds like he's very, very young, but interesting. Nonetheless, we're going to take a short little break here, and when we come back, we'll be talking about what's going on in the community with some events, and we'll go from there. You're listening to 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source. Be back in a bit.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Denellen Farm Days Antique Tractor and Equipment Show is February 8th and the 9th, just 6 miles west of Denellen on County Road 40. It's fun for the entire family. Entry is just $5 each, or $15 for a carload up to 6 people. Children 12 and under are free. There'll be craft and food vendors, demonstrations, children's activities. Again, that's February 8th and 9th for the Denellen Farm Days. For more information, call 352-472-2703. A Tin Roof Shack production.
Howdy, folks. RL here to tell you about Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen Silver Springs has been serving yummy foods and ice cream made fresh to order for 46 years. Their gift cards are perfect for those you love for any occasion. Our ice cream cakes are awesome. And as far as grilled foods, DQ does it right. From grilled chicken to our famous foot-long chili dogs. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Florida Cancer Specialist Foundation provides critical living expenses for cancer patients undergoing treatment. You can support the foundation by attending Farm to Table 2020 on February 8th at Castlegate Farm in Ocala. For more information and to make reservations, visit fcsf.org/events. That's fcsf.org/events.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
And now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
Back. You're listening to AM Ocala Live on WOCA Ocala on this fine Thursday morning. Welcome everybody who's listening, who's on their way to work, who's on their way to dropping the kids off at school, and so on and so forth. Almost there, almost to the weekend. Almost there. And with the weekend, even though it looks a little bit rainy for what we see for Friday and Saturday, it's going to be beautiful on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. When we come to News Bits, we got a little bit to talk about of some of the interesting sort of recipes I found for some of the Super Bowl appetizers. If you're throwing a Super Bowl party or anything like that, I got some tidbits there. What else we got going on for the weekend and what's going on in the community? We wanted to mention we've got just a few things going on, which we'll bring up, of course, with Vets Helping Vets today for a half hour, 9:05 to 9:30. We'll probably hear that we've got tomorrow the Veterans Stand Down, January 31st, 2020, 2730 East Silver Springs Boulevard, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. That'll be tomorrow. Like I said, we want to mention that. Anybody's listening now, and then Vets Helping Vets, we're going to bring that up again. Also, what's starting tomorrow is our friends at the Ocala Civic Theater, live on stage, always Patsy Cline. January 30th, that'll run through February 23rd, starting tomorrow. They're excited. We had in the studio last week, we had Melody Murphy and Laura Bradford. This looks phenomenal, and the work that these ladies put in to what this musical tribute is just incredible. Volunteering their time to do that. And then not only that, the work ethic that went into it for listening to the music, emulating the voices and the sing and the song and the lyrics. And then also, too, just the way that they had to memorize their lines, their monologues and everything. Just a lot of hard work from them that I know is gonna pay off, and it's worth seeing. We're saying to get out there and see it. This sentimental song-packed tribute musical is a love letter to the legendary country music star Patsy Cline, played by Melody Murphy, and her friendship with Louise Seeger, played by Laura Bradford, one of Patsy Cline's greatest fans. This is based on a true story. The show explores the unlikely bond between two women who met only once, yet became close friends through their experience. Wisecracking Louise tells the tale of how she became first a fan and then a friend of the iconic singer. This is just great stuff, heartfelt and humorous. The show features more than 24 of Patsy Cline's greatest hits, including Crazy, Sweet Dreams, Walking After Midnight, I Fall to Pieces, and Faded Love. Oh, and She's Got You, just to name a few. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the magic of her music, you'll be crazy for Always Patsy Cline. That starts tomorrow, or correction, I'm so sorry, that starts today. I was looking at the 31st for the stand now, but that's today, the 30th, live on stage, Always Patsy Cline. They will be... There'll be 21 public performances from January 30th to February 23rd. Reserve your tickets for opening night, which is tonight, Thursday, January 30th, at 7 p.m. For a reception, an hour before the premiere of the performance, delicious refreshments are provided, beer and wine are available for purchase, and come celebrate the excitement for opening night. The tickets have been on sale, $27 for adults and $13 for full-time students. So anybody there at CF, make your way over to the Ocala Civic Theater. So those are some things, just to name a few, that are happening right now. Some stuff that's coming up. We've got a little, as we're coming into February, the first Friday Art Walk returns to Ocala, starting Friday, February 7th. The Art Walk will return. The first Friday Art Walk returns to downtown Ocala, Friday, February 7th, 6 to 9 p.m., and it will include the following performances and activities. From 6 to 9, we'll have live music by the Muds on stage. The Muds. 7 and 8 p.m. we'll have dance performances with Dance by Sheila. They'll have a Discovery Center, the Appleton Art Museum of Art, Ocala Chippers, Brick City Bicycles, Ocala Art Group, the Ocala Calligraphy, Bogan, Muns and Muns will be sponsoring that with Alchemy Tattoo and Fine Art. The first Friday Art Walk occurs 6 to 9 p.m. on the first Friday of each month, September through May. Located within Ocala's historic downtown, events, festivities include over 40 artist displays, live entertainment, free family art activities, art organizations, galleries, and extended shopping hours. This is a great opportunity for people to really kind of get out, have something to do on a fun Friday night, and also kind of support the local business within the community and support local community art, which is phenomenal. So we've got that going on, and a lot of good stuff like that. One of the other things to mention, I was thinking about this one again, you might have heard me mention it, is that I want people to know about it, is the Smiles at Heathbrook to host the Free Dentistry Day Friday, February 14th. That comes up there for Valentine's Day. They say that they understand that many people in the community and across the nation have not been to the dentist for a long time. So with that, our friends at Smiles at Heathbrook will be hosting Free Dentist Day with cleanings, fillings, and extractions that will be provided to patients on Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., 46 4608 Southwest College Road in Ocala. 4608 College Road in Ocala. Patients will be accepted first come, first served basis. And come on down if you want to get your teeth cleaned, if you want to just get them checked out, if you got something that's ailing you and you just don't feel like you have the means for it, now's an opportunity to do so. Just a shout out too, when we're talking about art, going from the first Friday of every month, having the art walk downtown. We mentioned the Appleton Art Museum. Right now, the Appleton Art Museum, College of Central Florida, will present the exhibition Flamenco, from Spain to the U.S. That's been going on now, January 25th through May 24th. It'd be passionate, fiery, sensual, intense flamenco from Spain to the U.S. provides an in-depth and multidimensional examination of the history and culture of flamenco dance and music. That's good stuff right there. Exhibition curator Nicolasa Chavez from the Museum of International Folk Art says that flamenco developed as a folkloric tradition in southern Spain beginning in the beginning nearly 500 years ago. Flamenco was learned within the family and passed down through generations, and by the 19th century, it had become an art form presented on stage at new venues with cafe cantinas, which showed the first flamencos in nightclubs in Spain. Interesting. So got that coming up. We mentioned that with the Ocala Theater, we also have the Ocala Theater putting on a dinner theater production called Love Letters, February 21st to the 22nd. Ocala Civic Theater will present a dinner theater production of A.R. Gunnery's Love Letters, starring Fred Mullen and Janet Shelley, for 2 performances only, which will be Friday, Friday, February 21st at 7 p.m. and Saturday, February 22nd at 3:30 p.m. I'll be looking forward to that. Love Letters will be held at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 702 Northeast 25th Avenue in Ocala, featuring an Italian buffet of tossed salad, chicken parmigiana, baked ziti, meatballs, garlic bread, cannoli, and a cash bar will be available. Tickets are on sale now, $36 per person. Tax and gratuity is included. For reservations, call the Civic Theater Theater Box, Ocala Civic Theater, 352-236-2274. Or you can purchase tickets online at the OcalaCivicTheater.com. Again, their phone number, 236-2274. All right. Woo. So we'll talk a little bit more of stuff going on in the community. We're coming to the top of the hour. We just got a few minutes here. And we were talking most of the week with the sponsors that we have, with the friends of the station that we have. There is a lot going on in the community. And now, not only for development of what's going on in the community, but there's activities within the community. This is some great stuff. As we move later on the show, I'll bring up some other stuff that we have going on. That's what we're about here at The Source, giving you the source of information of stuff that's going on in your community. So when a lot of people say, there's nothing to do in Ocala, they're not listening to the right station. There's plenty to do in Ocala, and there's a lot coming up. And we're going to touch base more on that a little bit later and everything. But we're coming to the top of the hour now. You're listening to AM Ocala Live on WOCA Ocala, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. When we come back, we'll have Galen, Life South Community Blood Centers. We'll be talking to him a little bit. If you've got some ideas or topics that you want to talk about, or you want to give a call in with Galen, please do, 622-9622, and we'll pretty much go from there. And that's where we're at with the show. If you guys want to talk about something specific, or you want to comment on the story that I had earlier about the man with the $500,000 Antiques Roadshow Rolex, that's a good one too. Yeah, why not? You're listening to AM Ocala Live, WOCA Ocala, The Source. We'll be back after this.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Senators at President Trump's impeachment trial today asked more written questions of his defense team and the House Democrats prosecuting the case. Republicans Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski asking yesterday if the president connected the Bidens to corruption in Ukraine before Joe Biden announced he was running for president.
I can't point to something in the record that shows President Trump at an earlier time mentioning specifically something related to Joe or Hunter Biden.
Patrick Filbert on the president's defense team there. More cases of the deadly coronavirus in China.
China reporting 170 people killed and more than 7,700 infected. India and the Philippines are the latest countries to report cases on their soil. The World Health Organization is meeting today to consider declaring the outbreak a global emergency.
Fox's Simon Owen, there are 5 confirmed cases in the United States with more test results pending. America's listening to Fox News.
Would you get on an airplane if you knew it had a 50% chance of crashing? You may be riding that plane right now. If you have your money in a 401k or IRA and you plan to take out the recommended percentage each year when you retire, your chance of running out of money is 50%. 50%. But there's a better and safer way to secure your income in retirement. Discover how in a free book called Rescue Your Retirement. This wealth building strategy has never had a losing year in more than a century. In fact, even the man who invented the 401k now prefers this method instead. Get Rescue Your Retirement free for just a small shipping charge and enjoy a safe landing and a comfortable retirement. Get this free book and make sure you don't run out of money. Hurry, this offer is extremely limited. To get your free copy, just go to growwealthsafely.com. That's growwealthsafely.com to discover how to rescue your retirement. growwealthsafely.com.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson, Scribner, and Stewart, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that your tax return's outcome will leave you in the best possible position. Call them today at 694-4184. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart. They're there for you today. Again, that number is 694-4184. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. 694-4184.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Jean Powell, Past Chamoy. Jean and Debbie thank you for another successful year and to wish you peace, love, and joy in 2020. Now is the perfect time to fence row spray for weed control, rototilling for your winter gardens, and stump grinding. We are family owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm ready. Powell Jean, Gene at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Jean Powell, Past Chamoy. 352-629-2440. Jean is a proud United States veteran.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that you promised you would. So whether you're tackling a small honey-do list or building the Taj Mahal, Sunbelt Rentals will help you get the job done right with the right tools. From carpet cleaners to excavators, Sunbelt Rentals has what you need. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now from Sunbelt Rentals, located on Highway 27, just a half mile east of I-75, or visit sunbeltrentals.com. Get it done. Rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals.
You just have to say it's a happy day. The old ticker hasn't been clicking and your kicker hasn't been kicking, but the hospital you can now leave. To rehab you can now cleave. The folks at Palm Garden you got to meet. You can tell their services cannot be beat. Working with nursing and therapy all day, you're gonna get better the Palm Garden way. Find out what the Palm Garden way means to you by taking a tour. We're located on the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Hey, good morning. You're listening to AM Ocala Live on WOCA Ocala, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. The Source. We've got Galen on the phone from Life South Blood Community Centers. Good morning, partner.
Hey, good morning, Adam. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing real good, except for this cough that I cannot shake. I can't shake it. You know what it is? I'm talking too much. That's what it is.
You think?
I think so.
It's amazing. It's like all of a sudden you talk for a living.
Yeah, I talk for a living.
Yeah.
So
welcome to the club.
Yeah, I talk for.
I live on coke.
Yeah.
I live on throat lozenges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know whether
during a football game, I'll go through half a pack. I mean, it's because I talk all day, and then you talk during a football game, and it's amazing. It's exhausting sometimes.
What's your go-to flavor of lozenge?
I have them all. So I do I forgot the name of the brand. I just know what the package looks like.
For those who are listening, they're like, man, this is riveting radio. They're talking about what their favorite lozenges
are. Yeah, I know. It's not Ricola, because I'm not a big fan of the Ricolas, but it's another brand. I can't remember it. But I really don't care. I just grab whatever that brand is. And I'm almost numb to the taste.
Oh, I know.
So,
Yeah.
I have bags stashed everywhere. I have them in my car. I have them at home. I have them in my desk at work. Yeah. I have an extra bag in my glove compartment.
Yep. That's awesome.
And I have a bag with a radio kit. Yeah, it's very entertaining.
So
by stocking that company.
So if they want to give us a call to sponsor the show, Halls or Vicks Vapor.
Neither one of those. I don't like Halls either. I can't remember the name of the brand.
Yeah. When I was a kid, just to carry this riveting radio, when I was a kid, the big thing was the Luden's cherry cough drops, which those things weren't even cough drops.
That's what they're called?
Yeah.
No, not the Luden.
Yeah.
I know what the Luden is, yeah. My go-to for a long time was Chloraseptic.
Yeah. Because those were deep.
There you go.
Those had a lot of good stuff in them. There was a heavy medicine there.
They got that chewy at the end, and it was like, ooh, that's kind of nasty.
Yeah. Yep.
That plasticky taste.
Yep. So at the beginning of my show today, Galen, I'd started it last night, but I got too tired. I fell asleep, and I caught it this morning. But on my Facebook was this really cool video that I watched. It's about 9 minutes long of a snippet from the PBS Antiques Roadshow. And this gentleman who served in Vietnam, who was in the Air Force, who was drafted, by the way, his number was number 7, which, you're going. Pick a branch, you're in. So he picks the Air Force.
Yeah.
He picks the Air Force, and as he's doing his duty to the nation, he realizes that as he's on certain flights to get where he needs to go, he realizes that a lot of the pilots that he watched fly the airplanes that get him to where he needs to go are wearing Rolex watches. And this is back in 1971 or 1975. So basically, he thinks, man, when I get the opportunity, I want to own one of those. Those seem pretty unique, pretty cool. Well, he does. He ends up buying a 1973 Rolex Oyster Cosmograph. Anyway, he just finds it to be a little bit unique, and he had this inkling that he just shouldn't wear it, that he needs to put this away. They never said exactly what price he had bought it for, but he basically put it in a safety security deposit box and said, you know what, I'm only going to touch it every now and then. There's something about this watch. He just had a feeling. And now he was getting it appraised. He had all of the documentation. He had the box that it came in that's made of, I think it's made of wood, and then it's covered in some laminate, then it has felt in the inside. And then the box, the paper box that holds the watch, he had all of the, like I said, serial number documentation and guarantee and registration numbers. Anyway, long story short, what he thought was maybe in the upwards of $70,000, $80,000 watch ends up getting appraised. It's so rare and it's so unique and so wanted, it's worth over $500,000. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, well, you know, that's what the Antique Roadshow will do for you. We watch that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it puts my wife to sleep. It's one of those relaxing shows. And,
yeah.
Every once in a while, you get something on there. And I'm a watch guy. I love watches.
Right. They're so unique. They're so cool.
You get to a point. I honestly, I think I have like 8 of them. And then you get to a point where, just like any collection, you want something that costs a little more. You want something that's a little higher end. You know, you're past the Casio phase, and then you go through
the one with the calculator,
all the different levels. Right, you go through all the different phases, and to me, it's the only jewelry I wear.
Yeah.
And so my goal is to have a tag and to have a Rolex, and I can't afford either one of them right now, but one day maybe I will.
One day.
And I think it would be, you know, especially the older Rolexes.
Right.
They have that vintage quality. They're so cool.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
And that's what was unique about this. What made it more valuable was that, mind you, they only made about 7,000 of them. And on the back of it, where the sticker would be either peeled or worn, it still had it, and it was in good shape. Because even the sticker is made out of something pretty nice with like a metal backing. It was 6,453 in the serial number of the 7,000 made. But the reason that this one was so interesting is because that's the one that Paul Newman wore in his movies on set and had been seen. And
oh, really?
Yeah, and that's when he told him, he's like, okay, so now this is an iconic watch that at the time you could see be, you know, used by Paul Newman. But the condition of yours having been so good and all the paperwork, we're in the ballpark of somewhere near, like he said, 400,000. And then the guy like rolls on his back as if he's going to pass out. He's like, whoa, I had no idea. He goes, I'm not finished. He goes, mind you, of them making only 7,000 of them, you got what is only one of the few that are labeled as the Rolex Oyster, not chronograph, but cosmograph. And because of the shape it's in, for the year that it's in, you're looking at upwards of almost $500,000 to $700,000 at auction.
That's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah.
I sell that thing immediately.
I know, I would too. When you see it, it looks like it's just an ordinary watch, and it's not been cleaned up or polished or anything. Which, to be honest with you, I think from what I heard is like a lot of watch collectors. For those older watches, they like it better if they're kind of untouched and unpolished.
And it's got to have a little patina.
Yeah. But could you imagine that if you come across that's the lottery right there? And absolutely, I would do the same thing. I would say I did the right thing by keeping it in a safe security deposit box. You know, the guy's in his mid to late 60s. He looks like a real man. He's seen some stuff. He's been around the block, so he's not a moron by any means. And he looks like okay, yeah. And that's it, man. He's done. He's retired. Whatever he's doing, he's out. The rest of his life's taken care of. God, that's awesome.
You would hope so. Well, it depends. 500,000. I don't know what it. Well, he's got to have a little bit more of a nest egg than that.
Yeah.
Because that's only 5 years, 7 years of existence.
Yeah.
You know what he's making. You got to still have a nest egg. That's not. Can't retire off of $500,000.
No, not exactly. Not exactly.
No, and I don't care what you're invested in. you just can't. It just doesn't go that far.
Mm-mm.
So.
Yeah.
But it's still cool.
Yeah, I just thought that was awesome. Now, some of the watches I've owned in the past, they're usually just something that looks good, that's functional, that it's nothing outrageous. I have not spent over anything over hundreds of dollars on any watch. I haven't done that yet. I'd like to have a big boy job maybe when all my financial securities have been met, and then I can afford something and do something like that. But what's funny is most of the watches I've bought, Fossil watches and stuff like it, the one I got on me now, I'm managing it, but the crown is actually pulled out and things broke. Like, they break so easy. It's just ridiculous. Now, let me ask you this.
Okay.
With being a fan of these older timepieces, a Rolex, a Tag Heuer, and Omega, and a Breitling, what did you think about when these new smartwatches all came out and everything?
Well, I have one. I have a
have
Samsung.
one.
I have the G3.
No.
I like it at work, and this is what I wear 90% of the time at work.
Yeah.
If I have a meeting or something, I'll put on one of my nice watches. But to me, it's a utilitarian. It's an extension of my phone.
Yeah.
So when I'm in a meeting or something and I get a text, I can just refer to it and not have to break out my phone. So, yeah, I use it. There's a ton of functions that I don't use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there it is. Because it can do so much, but you can't use everything that it has to offer.
Yeah. But I do like the fact I use the Samsung Pay a lot.
Yeah.
So I do like that. It's just more secure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that's a part of the process. Sure.
Awesome. Well, as we continue our conversation here, we got a little shout out to our friends, our sponsors, Palm Garden of Ocala Health and Rehabilitation Center, 2700 Southwest 34th Street, Ocala, Florida. 854-6262. As your partner in health, Palm Garden of Ocala shares your goal to return safely home with maximum independence. Let their comprehension rehabilitation service assist you in returning to the activities you enjoy. Sports, one of them, right? Right, Galen? Our team is licensed professional therapists. They're ready to help you attain your optimum health and your well-being each and every day through your rehabilitative stay. That's Palm Garden of Ocala. 854-6262, palmgardenofocala.com. Of course, our other sponsor there, Penn Flooring, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, 351-3420. Penn Flooring, providing quality customer service with a family touch over 25 years. And as I've been looking at more, like, in the interest of wanting to eventually own a home, I'm paying attention now, even when I watch HGTV. The technology in flooring nowadays is pretty interesting, and you can get all of those questions answered, all of the needs you need met. Penn Flooring, like I said, pennflooring.com, 351-3420. Awesome. I want one of those floors eventually in the bathroom that are like heated. You stayed in a hotel that's got the heated floors?
Yeah. I mean, we live in Florida. That would just, I don't know how much value that would be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that in the winter, I have tile all over my bathroom, and it's cold in there.
Yeah.
But it's nice in the summer because it's nice and cool.
Because it stays cool.
And it's a lot more summer than it is winter, so it works fine.
So maybe 6 months out of the year you'd be really using the heated floor.
Well, more like 2.
Yeah.
2. Maybe.
Two, maybe.
And I don't know how long it takes to warm up. I mean, is there a switch?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Is it temperature activated, or?
Yeah, there's a little switch on some of them, and it doesn't take long at all. Now, I've stayed at hotels too where you got the turn dial for the timer of a heat lamp that comes on.
Well, that's 1970s.
Yeah, it is.
Technology. When you're in one of those, you're in an old hotel.
Did I mention the hotel had a heart-shaped jacuzzi tub?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's more like that's a fire hazard.
Yeah, thin walls and a heart-shaped jacuzzi tub and a quarter slot for the bed to vibrate.
There you go. All night, baby.
As we segue into February, being Valentine's Day, for anybody of those who's got a hotel out there like to sponsor the show with their 1970s.
There's probably a hotel or two in Ocala that rents by the hour.
I think you're right. You know, it's interesting. There's one motel, as you'd call it, like that as you go to downtown, I don't want to give the name out too much, but it's the one that has resembled a St. Patrick's Day little little weed or plant, shamrock something.
Shamrock?
Yeah, and it looks really good. Every time I pass it, I'm always intrigued because they put some effort with some plants and some hanging baskets and some trees and stuff, and it's at least looks like it's done right, so to speak. But yeah, that one's always fascinated me in a sense. But
go check it out.
Yeah, might have to just
see what you can do for an hour.
See what we do for an hour.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Hey, are you when it comes to the Super Bowl, are you usually going to a Super Bowl party, or are you hosting a Super Bowl party? What do you usually do to watch the Super Bowl game?
No, it's Sunday night.
Yeah.
Right. So it starts at like 6:45.
Yeah. Hopefully.
It's Sunday. I got to work the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. Yeah, I've done it, but and you get to a certain point in your life, and you're like, I'm going to watch it at home.
Now, there was, I think I read this last week, there was a boy, a 16-year-old boy who petitioned. He got I think at the time, 11,000 signatures. I wonder what it's up to now. But he was trying to petition the NFL to actually have moved the Super Bowl from Sunday to Saturday. So that way no kids or anybody has to go to work the next day. You think that would be advantageous?
No. They want that Sunday prime time.
Yes, they do.
If you think about it, some of the highest rated shows are on Sunday night because people they're home, they want to watch TV before they go to bed, right? 60 Minutes. There's a reason it's at 6 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yep.
Because for a lot of people, it's the last thing they watch before they go to bed.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they don't want to lose that.
No, that's their day.
No.
That's their day.
Because Saturday night, people are still going out. They're going to go out to dinner. They may have a function. Nobody has a function on Sunday night.
Nope.
People don't even get married on Sunday.
We got a caller here, Galen. Let's see what we got going on. Good morning. You're on the air, WOCA Ocala. Oof.
Oh, that hurt.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, good morning.
Morning. How's it going?
I just wanted to say that the Shamrock Inn is not one of those rent by the hour. They have vintage rooms. It's kind of like the Herlong Mansion, where you pick your room by a theme.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's very nice. Very old, very nice.
Oh, excellent. Well, there we go. It is something to
What
look
kind of themes
into.
are we talking about? What kind of
Yeah, that's what
kind
I'm
of theme?
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's it.
I was curious. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, now I am
I don't
too.
know.
So themed
I've
rooms.
driven by it 100 times.
Yeah. Well, shoot. Here we go. Well, thank you for the call.
Now you got a place to go and check out there, Adam.
Yeah, I got a place to go check out. I'll bring the business cards of 96.3 FM. See if we can't get them to talk about that even in the studio. Might have a new
You can
sponsor.
talk about a different room every day.
That's right. Yeah, think about it. If they got at least more than 4 different rooms, they can come into the studio, talk about one room every week. Oh man! And with what everything's going on downtown, hey, instead of taking that expensive Uber, which by the way, Uber has become just kind of ridiculous lately. It used to be when Uber. This was a few years ago. This was like 2015. I was Ubering around a little bit, and it was hardly here in Ocala, and I could get from near the airport on 20th Street to downtown Ocala and back for, I don't know, 15, 16 bucks. Now, holy cow, it's ridiculous. Like, the price is nuts.
Well, I mean, they operated at a loss for their first, 7 years or 8 years? And
Yeah.
they decided that, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
It's not financially stable right now, and so I think all those people who invested all that money are like, we've got to get some revenue out of this. It's got to show a positive revenue.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a very highly downloaded app, but and I think the drivers are still consistent. I think they're just increasing their pricing, and especially when they get into that critical time frame where the price can be $75 to go 4 miles.
Right. It makes you
right now in Miami.
Yeah, Miami.
Right now in Miami with the Super Bowl, there are people driving down to Miami just to Uber.
Yeah. Yep. Just to Uber, and it makes you wonder. Can they get away with some of the price gouging to take people from here to there? Yeah.
There's no regulation.
No, and they're
Why
doing.
not? Because you don't have to do Uber.
No.
You can still call a cab.
Yeah.
You know, you could still do Lyft. I mean, that's basic capitalism.
Yeah.
Now, part of what Uber wants is only their cars on the road. They want, you know, their founder is anti-vehicle,
Yeah.
which I have an issue with. But yeah, you know, he thinks that cars won't even be on the people won't buy cars in 20 years. And they're also investing in that ride share where you could just go to any car that's around and just rent it, like for the hour or whatever.
Right.
That's also, he's part of that too. So
Yeah. Have you done that at all? Where you've rented the car for a day or an hour or a couple hours?
No, I mean, yeah, Hertz, Avis,
Yeah.
Enterprise, not the one you could just walk up to it, use your credit card, and get the code and all that. No, I haven't. I've done it with the scooter in Atlanta.
Segway.
You know, you can rent the scooter. No, it's not a Segway. It's a scooter.
A Razor
Just
scooter.
download the app and you tap your phone to it, and it charges you and it tracks you, and then when you put it up and unhook it, sets it up.
Good to go. Now see, there's an app that I haven't used before, but I've always researched that if I was going to be in a certain town or something like that for a short period of time to have the availability of a car, or if I wanted to make it even fancy to where we're going to fly in somewhere and only be there for the day, that we can get like a fancy car for a couple hours. There's an app that does that, but I've never used it before. Now, a lot of people put cars up there, so you could take your own car that's in your driveway right now and have it as an opportunity to rent. But a lot of people get some like exotic and more like fancy cars, and especially in Miami area, Tampa and Orlando, it's not unheard of to get into like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a Porsche Boxster, Porsche 911, and actually rent that for a few hours. And it's not a terrible price. You're talking like $125 for the day, as long as you could go through the app, and then if you add on the insurance.
I wouldn't let anybody ride in my wife's BMW for $125.
No.
A day.
I was gonna say, yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's interesting, but
No.
yeah.
No, not for no. Heck no.
No. Now, the point I was going to make was with Uber, as far as downtown, when mentioning that little motel. Well, shoot, with the way the downtown community's kind of blowing up there with lots of stuff to do right there at the square. Shoot, you're in walking distance from some place that you can stay the night, and they got rooms that have themes. Shoot, you could dress up for that evening for the theme to have participated with downtown at the square, to then carry that theme into the themed room.
Yeah, go nuts.
Man.
Yeah, go nuts.
I'm excited. I'm going to look into that. Shoot.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're coming to the bottom of the hour here with just a couple minutes left. Galen, where's...
Maybe they have a Rolex room.
Yeah,
Maybe they have a Rolex room.
Ooh, there you go.
Or a, yeah. That'd be good.
How's the blood supply, Galen?
Antique Roadshow room.
Antique Roadshow room.
We're hurting. We're in emergency need of everything. We need people to come out, give the gift of life, donate blood. Today we're going to be at the Winn-Dixie out in Dunellen, so please just come, or I'm sorry, the Publix out in Dunellen.
Mm-hmm.
Come by and see us. Give the gift of life and donate blood. We're right there on the boulevard, 1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard.
Excellent.
Not that far from the Shamrock Inn.
No, not at all, baby.
How about all the publicity we're giving the Shamrock Inn?
Yeah, Dan's
Dan
probably...
and Joe are going nuts right now.
Yeah, that's why I never said the word. You did. That's all on you. You didn't get the phone call.
Hey, it's fine. I mean, you know, they're part of Ocala. I think that hotel's probably been there 50 years.
Is that right? Yeah.
I mean, it's been here. I don't remember it not being here. How about that?
Right.
So, cool.
Well, awesome, partner.
Check it out.
I got to say, man, I've been enjoying our little segment to talk things through. I know I can throw any topic at you, and we can run with it, and that's why I enjoy talking to you, partner, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You got it, man. All right, Adam.
Yeah.
Get rid of that dang cough.
Yeah, we will. Lozenges are coming through and through. Thanks, buddy. Have a good one. Excellent. You're listening to WOCA Ocala, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Just got off the phone with Galen, Life South Blood Community Centers. Go and donate. We're going to take a little break as we come to the bottom of the hour. We had a caller call back in. When we come back for News Bits, 8:35. We're going to go to the top of the hour with News Bits. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Senators at President Trump's impeachment trial today asked more written questions of his defense team and the House Democrats prosecuting the case. Republicans Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski asking yesterday if the president connected the Bidens to corruption in Ukraine before Joe Biden announced he was running for president.
I can't point to something in the record that shows President Trump at an earlier time mentioning specifically something related to Joe or Hunter Biden.
Patrick Philbin on the president's defense team there. More cases of the deadly coronavirus in China.
China reporting 170 people killed and more than 7,700 infected. India and the Philippines are the latest countries to report cases on their soil. The World Health Organization is meeting today to consider declaring the outbreak a global emergency.
Fox's Simon Owen, there are 5 confirmed cases in the United States with more test results pending. America's listening to Fox News.
Would you get on an airplane if you knew it had a 50% chance of crashing? You may be riding that plane right now. If you have your money in a 401k or IRA and you plan to take out the recommended percentage each year when you retire, your chance of running out of money is 50%. 50%. But there's a better and safer way to secure your income in retirement. Discover how in a free book called Rescue Your Retirement. This wealth building strategy has never had a losing year in more than a century. In fact, even the man who invented the 401k now prefers this method instead. Get Rescue Your Retirement free for just a small shipping charge and enjoy a safe landing and a comfortable retirement. Get this free book and make sure you don't run out of money. Hurry, this offer is extremely limited. To get your free copy, just go to growwealthsafely.com. That's growwealthsafely.com to discover how to rescue your retirement. growwealthsafely.com.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Denellen Farm Days Antique Tractor and Equipment Show is February 8th and 9th, just 6 miles west of Denellen on County Road 40. It's fun for the entire family. Entry is just $5 each, or $15 for a carload up to 6 people. Children 12 and under are free. There'll be craft and food vendors, demonstrations, children's activities. Again, that's February 8th and 9th for the Denellen Farm Days. For more information, call 352-472-2703. A Tin Roof Shack production.
Ocala Quick Minute News. Deputies in Pasco County say that they found the van connected to a statewide Amber Alert for a baby kidnapped from Miami. Nearby, they found the body of the suspected kidnapper, the baby's father, dead from an apparent suicide. Sheriff Chris Nacco says that they've heard from a possible witness.
The one individual told us that he saw a blonde woman sitting in the truck. And I sit here and pray to God that that is true and that she has the baby.
Deputies are using canine tracking dogs to try to find 1-week-old Andrew Caballero. He was taken from a Miami home where 3 women were found dead on Tuesday. Police in Tallahassee say a giant sinkhole inside a mobile home community is getting larger by the hour. The crater, opened Tuesday, has forced several residents to evacuate nearby homes, but no injuries were reported. Congresswoman Val Demings says that the case against President Trump is open and shut. The Orlando Democrat and House impeachment manager tweets, "All that remains to be answered is whether the Senate will put country before party." Beyond all the hype that comes with Sunday's Super Bowl in South Florida, there's a good chance for a good game.
Super Bowl 54 is the third one planned by Rodney Barreto, and the chairman of the host committee says Sunday's game could actually be really good football.
From a host committee perspective, it's a great matchup. I think you've got 2 well-traveled teams. They got a good fan base, and you can see it. You can feel it.
More than anything, the chairman is a fan of the game. As for the outcome, Barreto says he typically roots for the underdog, but he thinks Kansas City will pull out a win on Sunday.
A grieving Shaquille O'Neal will use his Super Bowl party to honor a man he calls his brother. Shaq announced yesterday he will go forward with this week's party despite the death of Kobe Bryant. He says he'll donate all proceeds from the party to Kobe's foundation and to the families of the others who died in last weekend's helicopter crash. For your Ocala Quick Minute News, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Ocala Magazine is the city magazine distributed throughout Ocala, Marion County, and the villages, providing award-winning coverage of important issues for almost 40 years. Hi, I'm Philip Glassman, publisher of Ocala Magazine. Ocala Magazine offers a platform for branding opportunities for your business or events while covering the latest in local lifestyle throughout print, digital, and social media. Listen every Friday at 10:30 a.m. on WOCA, The Source.
Partly sunny and pleasant today, high 70 to 74. Increasing cloudiness tonight, low 56 to 59. Cloudy tomorrow with a shower in spots in the afternoon, high 75 to 78. Saturday, a shower or a thunderstorm, followed by clouds and sunshine in the afternoon, high 68 to 76. Plenty of sunshine for Sunday, high 64 to 68. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
Folks, I've been going to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens for years, and I can say right now, Bob Wine's has more blooming azaleas on display than at any time in their history. Hundreds and hundreds of multicolor azaleas, and Bob just can't keep them from blooming, and they're flying out the doors. And yes, he still has the ultra-popular dwarf ever-blooming red ruffles for $3.99. Many other year-round bloomers are available too. Don't forget the tree sale. Pick a tree as little as $49.99 and get another one for 20% off. And this year's free Camellia Show Spectacular is rolling along. Hundreds of many rare and exotic specimens blooming right now all over this 5-acre garden. It's worth the trip. Bob Wines is on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, just east of Lake Weir Avenue. They're open daily till 4, Saturdays till 3 in the same blooming place since 1952.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Good morning. You're listening to AM Ocala Live on WOCA Ocala, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM The Source. It's time for News Bits. We're broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall. Come by and say hello. Knock on the window. Wave. Happy Thursday, everybody. The beat just dropped. Feeling pretty good on this Thursday. I hope you are as well. We've got cloudy skies at the moment. Temperature and dew point is just right. That we have ourselves a overcast ceiling at 500 feet, wind 010 at 8 knots. Oh, wait, that's not the weather you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for temperatures. Right now, currently 56 degrees in Ocala. With increased cloudiness through tonight. Should break apart. We should see some sun today, but mostly cloudy. Getting upwards of near 65 degrees. And cloudy tonight. Also with a chance of 30% of showers into tomorrow with another cloudy day. The low around 53 tonight, high of 73 tomorrow. But then it looks like it clears out. And from Super Bowl Sunday on, we got the beginnings of next week looking beautiful. Excellent. If you're listening out there, thank you very much. We're about to do some news bits where we just do a little bit here and there that we can chew and swallow for the bits of news that we're going to have going around the community and in society, the world, the country, so forth and yada. First off, we have some notable birthdays. Usually the birthdays we mention are usually some kind of actor. But it's always interesting when you start thinking about age as a number, especially for some of these actors. Gene Hackman is 90 years old today. Gene Hackman, the star in the one of the best sports movies that I can remember, basketball movie Hoosiers. Gene Hackman is 90. Christian Bale, the gentleman who played Batman, one of my favorite Batmans, the Christopher Nolan Batman is 46 years old. Christian Bale is 46 years old. Yeah, that's interesting. Mid-40s. Yeah, that makes sense. This is interesting. A little news attack here for you. A survey found that the average 8 to 12-year-old can name 8 brands of beer, but only 4 U.S. presidents. In other words, we should start putting pictures of presidents on beer cans. I like to see where that survey was just a little bit more. These are always snippets that we get sent to us. That is interesting because it goes around to a lot of the media, radio stuff. But it doesn't say anything more of the survey. Only it's just one of those conversation pieces that can get a lot of people upset or opinionated, which is why I think it's there to report. But an average of 8 to 12-year-olds can name 8 brands of beer. Nowadays, we've gotten craft beers back into the conversation with a lot of these more local breweries. These certain towns in the United States, such as Asheville, North Carolina, Portland, Oregon, Austin, Texas, all these places that are huge for craft beers. I wonder if it's only domestics that some of these 8-year-olds can name. Interesting. And I wonder which 4 U.S. presidents. Probably the popular ones. Kennedy, Lincoln, President Trump. Maybe throw one in there. Van Buren. I doubt it. They probably know George Washington because he was the 5th president of the United States. Correction. The assumption that he was the very, very, very first president, which is incorrect. However, he was the first president under the new Constitution that we hold dear to this day. But there were actually 4 other people prior to him, which a lot of people don't know that. Look that up. Google that one. That's a good one. Because even back then, too, the President of the United States didn't carry much weight at all. So there's a little snippet for you. Find out some more on that. I'm not going to go too deep into that. There's a little bit more going on that we're going to talk about. Most popular day of the year. Popular day of the year to quit is January 31st. This is Friday, January 1st. According to a research, the most popular day in the most popular month for people to quit their job as those back in the saddle after the holidays find themselves staring at the year's calendar and questioning the point of it all. Why am I here behind 4 walls of a cubicle in front of a computer? For some, the urge may be fueled by a dread of keeping up the routine after kids go back to school. For others, it could be down to the fact that January is a very dull month. So interesting. A survey there, according to research, says that this is tomorrow the most popular day for people to quit their jobs, considering it's a Friday. So if last year we had the 30th on a Friday, it would have been the 30th. But they're saying that all they can tolerate is 1 more month in the new year of the new decade. And then that's it. That's all I can tolerate. I'm done. I quit. I'm out. Mic drop. Makes me think of that commercial where you see that lady who comes in with a cake. Hey, there's cake in the conference room. And on the cake, it says, I quit. Everybody have a piece. I'm out. Interesting. A lot of good stuff. New Year's diets. It's the end of January, and by now more than 1/3 of people who had made a New Year's resolution to lose weight, guess what? They've broken it. By March, only 13% will still be on their diet, and by April, only 7% will be hanging on. Hey, at least at the beginning of the year, and that's one of the things I love about New Year's. New Year's Eve, it's this thought process. I've mentioned this before. Some of the people at the flight school who are listening, they're like, oh, he's saying this again. But there's something special about New Year's Eve because it's the only day of the year that you get the opportunity to reflect, that you're pretty much told to reflect on how the entire year has gone, and it gets you to positively think about what can change for another year that you're leading into. And because you're doing that at the same time, as the ball drops, you are in the moment. You are thinking past, future, and you are living the present. And if you have goals like that, by all means, at least starting them shows something. Now, holding on to them, there's a lot of excuses we make as we go through the year and things get tougher. However, congratulations for the 13% that hold on through March, and congratulations on the 7% who hold through April. But I bet if you started a New Year's resolution to lose weight at the beginning of the month, there was probably something that changed in a positive manner. So keep it up. For those of you who are thinking about ending it, keep it up. It's not bad. Get through it. Work. Work your butt off. Ignore the naysayers. We're going to take a short little break. We're doing news bits. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more. I got a story here of a DUI case that's pending that happened here locally. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to get an update here. I got one just a little bit ago on what we have with President Trump going on in the Oval Office for his day's events. You're listening to 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source. We'll be back after this. Take a little break.
Ocala Magazine is the city magazine distributed throughout Ocala, Marion County, and the Villages, providing award-winning coverage of important issues for almost 40 years. Hi, I'm Philip Glassman, publisher of Ocala Magazine. Ocala Magazine offers a platform for branding opportunities for your business or events while covering the latest in local lifestyle throughout print, digital, and social media.
Listen every Friday at 10:30 a.m. on WOCA, The Source.
Partly sunny and pleasant today, high 70 to 74. Increasing cloudiness tonight, low 56 to 59. Cloudy tomorrow with a shower in spots in the afternoon, high 75 to 78. Saturday, a shower or a thunderstorm, followed by clouds and sunshine in the afternoon, high 68 to 76. Plenty of sunshine for Sunday, high 64 to 68. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
Friday the 31st at 9:30 a.m., our special guest will be Scotty Plant, owner of 12 Rounds Boxing Gym. Boxing is an excellent way to keep in shape while building your self-reliance. Scotty says there are only two kinds of people in the world, the ones that work out and stay in shape, and the ones that don't. Which one are you? Learn about the gym and get your boxing questions answered. That's this Friday at 9:30. This interview will give you a whole new perspective of keeping in shape.
And you're listening to AM Ocala Live on WOCA Ocala, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Source. Turn it on and rip the knob off. Good morning, everybody. We're getting back to news bits here. I like my bumper music for it. I like that. Hope you do too. As we're getting back into news bits, we've got one here out of Ocala. The Ocala Police Department says here that with second DUI, case pending, man drives drunk and kills motorcyclist. Sean Henry Matthews, 35 years old, was arrested Tuesday on DUI manslaughter charge. In October, between Sean Henry Matthews' DUI arrest in September and his no contest plea in November, police said that the Ocala man was driving drunk again, and this time killed a man on a motorcycle. The September arrest was his second offense, as Matthew, 35, had been convicted of a DUI in Hillsborough County in 2017. He was arrested Tuesday on charges of DUI manslaughter and driving on a suspended license. Ocala police said a test showed Matthews had a blood alcohol content of 0.203, more than twice the legal limit of what is 0.08. The crash occurred on October 24th on South Pine Avenue. Police said Matthews, who was driving a 2018 Nissan Sentra, turned and collided with a 2005 BMW motorcycle. The driver of the motorcycle was 60-year-old David John Buchanan, later died at Ocala Regional Medical Center. Matthews was taken to UF Health Shands Hospital in Gainesville with a facial injury. Officer Danny Wright interviewed witnesses and got video from the Marathon gas station on 17 O2 South Pine. The marathon video showed the Nissan leaving the parking lot and entering South Pine and then being involved in the crash, according to Wright's report. After reviews of the crash scene, Wright went to Shands to speak with Matthews. Wright said the man was slurring his words. Last Friday, Wright received toxicology information from Shands showing Matthews' blood alcohol level, which brings us to Tuesday, where Wright and K-9 officer Alex Roos went to 1716 Northeast 36th Street with a warrant for Matthews' arrest. Matthews' first appearance is Wednesday. County Judge Sarah Ritteruff Williams has set his bail to $100,000. If he does not post bail, he will not be allowed to drive, and he must rent a portable intoxication testing device from the Salvation Army that he must have with him 24/7, subject to testing 4 times a day, and cannot pass illegal drugs or alcohol. Incredible. Incredible. On a lighter note, as I got a little tickle in my throat, bear with me. Yeah. Ooh. As I got a little tickle in my throat. As we make our way to Super Bowl Sunday, one of the things that's talked about with Super Bowl Sunday, beyond the game, beyond the commercials, is the idea of the food, baby. This one pulls on Dan's heartstrings. It's food, right, Brad? It's food, baby. So with that, we've got a little topic here. From Korean chicken wings to outrageous lasagna, these Super Bowl-worthy eats are way over the top. If you can't eat crispy, crunchy, savory foods during the year's biggest television event, when can you? You've made it through a long month of trying to eat and cook better, and then since the end of the month, you're not one of the 13% to make it through March or the 7% to make it through April. You've given up on your diet. Then it's time for the indulgence of pizza, chicken wings, and guacamole that you can eat, all of it you can eat. To help inspire your weekend noshing, I've got here a few recipes. One being a Korean spiced chicken wing and a boneless Japanese-style fried chicken called karaage. Interesting. An old-fashioned cheese straws and a healthy-ish dish made with fried prosciutto and orzo and asparagus. They've got here a Cubano mac and cheese lasagna. This dish has a lot going on. Mac and cheese lasagna for Super Bowl. That sounds about right. If you think about it, it's a triple mashup. You need lasagna noodles instead of normal pasta elbows, because the shape of the dish ultimately is a pressed sandwich. Interesting. I'm looking at some of the ingredients here. 1 pound boneless country pork ribs that are diced, butter, whole milk, cheddar cheese, Gruyere, Monterey Jack, Swiss. My goodness. 4 or 5 medium dill pickles that are sliced real thin. In a frying pan, you cook the pork on high heat. In a large bottom pot, melt the butter, add onions, sweet them on high, add flour, whisk, excuse me, reduce the heat to a low, allow to cook for 5 minutes. Woo. Excuse me, bake uncovered for 45 minutes. And then after just about 20 minutes of resting to be cool enough to eat. I don't know how I'd feel about that one. Japanese fried chicken, or karaage. We usually prefer a wand-style grater for fresh ginger, but you can have larger holes for a box grater, which would be great. The chicken's distinctive tang comes from a sashimi tagarashi, a Japanese rice seasoning with chili powder, roasted orange peel, sesame seeds, seaweed, and ginger. For the chicken, 3 ounces of chunk fresh ginger, sake, tamari, lemon zest. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. This is the sauce that's tossed with your favorite wings. Interesting. Anyway, moving on from that. This is hitting home with our state here. We've got a Florida Senate passes a bill to block local bans on sunscreen out of the Tallahassee, Florida Associated Press. Florida cities and counties wouldn't be able to ban sunscreens containing ingredients that some researchers say harm coral reefs under a bill passed by the state Senate on Wednesday. The Senate voted 25-14 in favor of the bill after no discussion or debate. If it becomes law, a Key West ordinance to ban the sale of sunscreens containing oxybenzone, octinoxate would be nullified. The Key West ban is set to go into effect next year. Researchers have shown that the chemical causes coral bleaching, and the reefs around the Keys attract divers, snorkelers, fish enthusiasts. Senator Bob Bradley says previously that they had sponsored the bill because protecting people is more important, and the research hasn't proven that the chemicals actually harm reefs. An identical House bill has been approved in 2 committees and faces its last committee stop Thursday before being considered for a full chamber. The city at the southern end of the Florida Keys isn't the only place to ban the products. Hawaii, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Caribbean island of Bonaire, which I know now, and the archipelago nation of Palau in the Western Pacific have enacted sunscreen bans that are either in place or will be in place within the next 2 years. Drugstore chain CVS in August that they will remove the chemicals from 60 of its store-branded sunscreen products. Miami Beach considered a similar ban, but eventually took no action. The Republican-led legislature has had a history of prohibiting local governments from enacting these laws, and most notably when it's passed by law banning local governments from enacting ordinances regulating gun and ammunition sales. And last year, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signed a Bradley bill that prohibits local government from banning front yard vegetable gardens. So that all kind of hits a little interesting. That's very interesting. Moving on with a little bit more government here as we get updates for certain instances of what we know is amongst the impeachment trial that is going on. Outside of that, there's still work to be done in Washington. And with that being said, President Donald Trump will be in Warren, Michigan today to speak at Dana Incorporated, an automotive engineering company. The United States-Mexico-Canada trade agreement, recently passed by the Senate and signed by the president just yesterday, replaces NAFTA, which allowed companies to move manufacturing into Mexico for cheaper labor. The White House says that the USMCA will create, quote, more balanced, reciprocal, end quote, trade environments that will support jobs for Americans and greatly benefit the auto manufacturing workers in the state of Michigan. After NAFTA's adoption more than 25 years ago, the United States lost nearly 1/4 of all its manufacturing jobs, including more than 1 in 5 vehicle manufacturing jobs. Entire communities were devastated from Ohio to Pennsylvania to Michigan to Maine. The deal is expected to create 176,000 new jobs nationwide. For President Trump, he brings hope to regions that should benefit from the new trade deal and the president's trade agreements to accomplish God's will on earth. Interesting. And originally being from Northeast Ohio, certain parts of Northeast Ohio that had auto manufacturing as well, has seen the likelihood of that dissipating quite a bit and everything else. So anything we can do to keep jobs in the United States is a good thing. Moving on, some other tidbits of news, just to keep it light again, as we looked at what New Year's diets in the end of January end up falling apart, where we said 13% only make it to March with their diet. April only 7% by hanging on by a thread. We've got some more here with an interesting TV series finale, the show Good Place, which stars Ted Danson from that show Cheers. The series comes to an end with a 90-minute farewell. The final run was a little over an hour and is followed by an interview special with Seth Meyers and the cast. It was an interesting show nonetheless that lasted pretty good for a moment, but was an idea that to showcase what it would be like if you pass on to actually get to heaven, which is interesting nonetheless. Gotcha. Oh, and with the feed that I just read you there from Trump, that's from our friends there, Annie Maria Delgado from the Trump Team 2020 Florida. We thank you for the updates and everything like that as we do our news bits to carry on with it. Appreciate it, partner. You got it. That's right. We're coming to the top of the hour now. as we're coming to the top of the hour to wrap up news bits, these are also news bits to carry on conversation or opinions that you guys have for later, as we've got more coming up with 9:05 to 9:30 with Veterans News, or Vets Helping Vets. We're going to have 9:35 to 9:45, Lori Williams from Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. And when we come back after that, that's when I'm going to open up the phone lines for you folks, 622-9622. If there's some comments or opinions that you have on the news bits that we did or the conversations that Galen and I had, it's all good. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall. You're listening to WOCA Ocala, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Senators at President Trump's impeachment trial ask more written questions today.
Trump lawyer Alan Dershowitz argued that if the president did something he believed would help him get reelected in the national interest,
that cannot be the kind of quid pro quo that results in impeachment.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said if Republicans block additional witnesses, they're going against the will of the American people.
They may be held accountable to that.
A final showdown on witnesses expected tomorrow.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Washington. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is in London to talk trade with the United Kingdom tomorrow night, withdrawing from the European Union.
We intend to put the United Kingdom at the front of the line.
Secretary Pompeo meeting with Prime Minister Boris Johnson to also express security concerns about the United Kingdom planning to use a Chinese tech company to build part of a high-speed wireless network. America's listening to Fox News.
Would you get on an airplane if you knew it had a 50% chance of crashing? You may be riding that plane right now. If you have your money in a 401k or IRA and you plan to take out the recommended percentage each year when you retire, your chance of running out of money is 50%. 50%. But there's a better and safer way to secure your income in retirement. Discover how in a free book called Rescue Your Retirement. This wealth building strategy has never had a losing year in more than a century. In fact, even the man who invented the 401k now prefers this method instead. Get Rescue Your Retirement free for just a small shipping charge and enjoy a safe landing and a comfortable retirement. Get this free book and make sure you don't run out of money. Hurry, this offer is extremely limited. To get your free copy, just go to growwealthsafely.com. That's growwealthsafely.com to discover how to rescue your retirement. growwealthsafely.com.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Have you been there yet? If not, please accept this invitation to the best of the best Camellia Show Spectacular going on at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Just a walk, a short stroll through this magnificent garden is all you need to experience thousands of camellias in bursting bloom. Of course, you can have your own budded and blooming Bob Wine's heirloom camellia for as little as $19.99, and larger sizes are available. Other Camellia Show bargain buys gorgeous blooming Calancho, just $4.99. Laura Petalum, 6 for just $35.99. Peach and nectarine fruit trees, 2 for $99.99. Citrus trees, buy one, get one at half price. Don't miss it now at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens on the uncrowded southeast side of Ocala. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 3 in the same blooming place since 1952.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson, Scribner, and Stewart, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the
largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that your tax return's outcome will leave you in the best possible position. Call them today at 694-4184. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart. They're there for you today. Again, that number is 694-4184. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. 694-4184.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Jean Powell, Pasture Mowing. Jean and Debbie thank you for another successful year and to wish you peace, love, and joy in 2020. Now is the perfect time to fence row spray for weed control, rototilling for your winter gardens, and stump grinding. We are family owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm ready. Powell Jean, Gene at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Jean Powell, Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440. Jean is a proud United States veteran.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that